Hello everyone. By the end of this video, you would have drawn this diagram on a piece of paper. So just again, this is the end in mind, what we will produce. So now I will give you time to get a piece of paper and a pen. And when you draw the elements of this drawing, try to make sure that you come out something like this. Okay, so on your piece of paper, let's draw a heart. A big heart to occupy maybe 3/4 of the piece of paper. Okay, so again, if you think the heart doesn't fit your screen, just zoom out. All right, so now we will draw the three C's of marketing. What are the three C's of marketing? The first C, of course, at the heart of it is the customer. So that's my representation of the customer. And again, um, very simple drawing just to show what the customer looks like. The second C is the company which makes the product. So my symbol for the company is a factory with smoke coming out. So that's the company. The third C is competition. Okay? Other companies who create the same or similar products that you do that can satisfy the customer. So the best symbol or image for competition is the Olympics. So we put the Olympic rings, and that symbolizes competition. So we have the three C's here, and after the three C's, we want to remember that each C corresponds to uh, a KPI. Now, for the customer, we need to satisfy three things. We need to satisfy, just to emphasize three things, we put a pyramid, just like Maslow's hierarchy needs, but here we put needs, wants, and demands. Okay, these are the three things that we need to satisfy for the customer. Again, a need is something that if it's taken away or not present, the customer will feel incomplete or dissatisfied. A want is the many ways you can choose from to satisfy the need. And then the demand is a want with purchasing power. So those are the three differences: needs, wants, and demands. Now, for the company, um, the nice thing about the heart is, I'll draw it here. It reminds us of the letter D. Okay, because what the company or the brand or the product has to give to the customer is the value. First, it has to create. Again, the symbol for create is the factory. Has to communicate. I use the megaphone to say communicate, and then to deliver value. Okay, so let's put in a delivery truck, a FedEx truck, or a motorcycle. So there are three things that a company must do. It has to create, communicate, and deliver value to satisfy the customer's needs, wants, and demands. Now, to complete the definition, it has to be better than competition. Okay, so our operational definition of the I Love Marketing model: marketing is, oh, by the way, we now have to go through the KPIs. The KPI for um, the customer is sales, but it's not just sales. We have to emphasize that it has to be repeat sales. So we're drawing a sailboat with the letter R, just to emphasize that it has to be repeat sales. Cannot be sales, it has to be repeat sales. For the company, the KPI to know that it's doing its role is profit. So if we put a graph of pesos and time, it has to show a continuous growth in profit. Okay? And test for if you're doing well versus competition is market share, which is again symbolized by a slice of the total market. So it's like a pizza pie. Okay. So the operational definition of marketing is it's a continuous process of satisfying customers' needs, wants, and demands by creating, communicating, and delivering value better than competition. Okay? So you don't miss a thing for the definition once you have this visual model. So 3 C's, 3 KPIs, a lot of visuals. Now, again, why did we choose the heart aside from intuitively reminding us that there has to be a V or a value in the heart? The other thing that's nice about the heart is that you see this thing, okay? That is the gap. Okay? We call that a gap. And there's an opportunity when the customer needs, wants, and demands something which may or may not be satisfied by the company. If it is being satisfied by the company, it is only an opportunity if the company can do it better than the competition. Okay, so again, there is a market opportunity when the customer needs, wants, and demands something. It's the first condition. The second condition is the company can make it, provide it, deliver it. And the third condition is it should be able to do it better than competition. So those are the three requirements for a market opportunity to exist. Now, if there's an opportunity, what does the company need to do? First, it has to size the market to determine if it's large enough to matter and small enough to handle. So this circle reminds us that we need to understand how big is the market. Is it, again, big enough to matter and small enough to handle? Now, if it decides the size is right for the market opportunity, then what the company has to do is to divide that total market into segments. Okay, so it can divide it into segments which are actionable. And the nice thing about one segment is the segment is a group of customers with similar needs, wants, and demands. And therefore, the way to satisfy this segment would probably be the same. Okay, the mix of services and products that will satisfy a particular segment will be the same. So by segmenting the market, it divides it into groups which are actionable and reachable for the company. The next thing that the company has to do is to target which of these segments is it targeting. So size the market, segment, target, and then if you've chosen the position for the segment, supposing you choose this particular segment and you don't always choose the biggest segment, you choose the segment where your product offering, the value offering, your unique selling proposition is better than competition. So it's not always the biggest segment. So what you do to hit your target segment is to aim for it. So let's do it with an arrow. Okay. So that's the head of the arrow. And to guide the arrow to hit that segment and not the other segments, we have the 4 P's of marketing. So if you can imagine, an arrow has these guides to allow it to travel to hit its bullseye. So the 4 guides here are the 4 P's. Okay, product, price, place, and promotion. In the tip of the arrow, there are 3 sides also. And these are what we have as features, advantages, and benefits. And the tip that should hit your target segment is benefits. Okay, so we must be able to communicate benefits to our market, and they realize what's in it for me. Okay, if you want to hit another segment, then what you can do is to change the balance of the four P's so that maybe the emphasis is not on product, it can be on price, or the emphasis of your arrow or your benefits is place or promotion. So this is the marketing mix. These are the four things you can actually adjust to hit the target market, again, better than your competition. Now, in modern days, the marketing mix is really uh, best represented by what we call as the brand. Okay, so let's put a symbol of a brand. Let's put it at the end. So that's the symbol for brand, end. Okay, so the brand is actually a combination of the marketing mix, which again is aimed to a certain target market, and that brand should be, again, creating, communicating, and delivering value to the target market better than competition. Right. So, so that's the first thing we want to do when evaluating market opportunities. The second thing, set of actions will be related to the environment. Okay. So we look at the company side and we determine if you've heard about SWOT, of course. So on the company side, we want to determine if the company is strong or weak on certain factors. So I draw here a barbell, okay? And that barbell represents strengths and weaknesses, okay? So if it's a positive for the company and it's within the company's control, it's a strength. On the other hand, if it's within the company's control but relative to others, it is a weakness, then we call it a weakness. On the other hand, if we look at the industry, and the industry is represented by all the other companies competing for the same target market, then it's not strength and weakness. We call it opportunity and threat. So to me, the best symbol for opportunity and threat is a clock. Okay. It's best symbolized by a clock. Okay, so let's draw the clock here. Let's put the number here, 9 and 3. Then put, okay. The reason I chose a clock, I want to think of it as overtime. Okay. If it's a positive, it's an opportunity. If it's a negative, it's a threat. So again, you see that the drawing I made on the other screen has exceeded what you're seeing, so you can zoom out. All right. Okay. Again, so what's the difference between strength and weakness and opportunities and threats? Strength and weaknesses are factors which are within the company's control, where opportunities and threats are factors which are outside its control. If it's positive, opportunity. If it's negative, it's a threat. But again, even if it's beyond the control, it has to be something that the company needs to consider. So that's the second thing that the company has to do the SWOT analysis. The third thing is for the company to use its two hands. What's the two hands? I draw a left hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and also a right hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, these are 5 things that the company has to consider if it wants to take advantage of the opportunity. Internally, within the company, there are 5 things, and I'll only illustrate one thing, and it's the TV. Why? Because the 5 things that the company has to consider for opportunities is its alignment with vision. It's why it's the television. Okay, the mission, the goals and objectives, the product portfolio, and the strategies and tactics. Those are the 5 things that the company has to consider for market opportunities. Now, for the industry, which is again comprised of the companies which offer similar products or services that satisfy the needs, wants, and demands for the target market. The one of the five things I'll draw easiest is this. No, it's a traffic sign. It's no entry. Okay, because the five things that must be considered about industry are Porter's five forces. This is entry barriers, barriers to entry, power of suppliers, power of buyers, threat of competitive reaction, and threat of substitutes. Those are the five factors that has to be considered in the industry. All right, so now we have a more robust model as far as what are the key things that has to be considered in the marketing model. Okay, one last thing, and this is very important. There's just three things. So it's love to the third power. Okay, there are just three generic winning strategies in order to succeed, not just in marketing, but in business. Okay, so I'll symbolize it by metal, right? And the three things um, are being the low cost producer, that's one, differentiation, or again, I use the symbol again of the pie, which is the niche. What is a niche? If we go to the total market, the difference between a niche and a segment is a niche is a very narrow segment which the company can excel in and operate in to be better than any of its competition. So the one I shaded here is a niche. Bigger than that is a segment. So when we differentiate on a segment, but when we niche, we focus on a very, very narrow segment, again, maybe like this one, to be able to win. Those are the three generic winning strategies that the company can choose from in order to win in business. So guys, this is the I Love Marketing model. Again, what's good about it is it shows you first the three KPIs, the three C's: customer, company, and competition. It shows you what has to be considered: needs, wants, and demands, to be satisfied through value, creation, communication, and delivery. And the definition of marketing is the process of continuously and profitably satisfying customers' needs, wants, and demands by creating, communicating, and delivering value better than competition. Okay, so when there's a gap, there's an opportunity. Only if there's something that the customer needs, wants, and demands, the company can supply better than competition. Other than that, there's no market opportunity. If the company wants to consider that marketing opportunity, has to first size the market, segment, target, meaning choose which one to communicate value, and then to position using the four P's, or now we call the brand. And the factors which are within the company's control have to be considered. These are strengths and weaknesses. Outside its control, its opportunities and threats. 5 things to consider for internal are alignment with vision, mission, goals and objectives, strategies and tactics, and business portfolio. For the industry, there are 5 forces: barriers to entry, power of suppliers, power of buyers, threat of competitive reaction, and threat of substitutes. In the end, there are just 3 generic winning strategies: be the low-cost producer, differentiate in a segment, or focus in a niche. That's it. If you can draw this on a tissue paper, then you've mastered marketing 101 using the I Love Marketing model.